Tying a simple crab. For this pattern, I'll be using coyote fur. You can feel free certainly to use badger fur, that works fine. Arctic fox, any of the furs where the under fur is fairly short and the outer fur, the longer fur, is no more than, say, 2.5 inches. I'm using mono thread, fine mono thread, Danville's, and the hook is a Mustad 32786 BLN. The best way to characterize the pattern is it's a clouser tied on a jig hook with some leggy material palmered on the underside rear of the shank, and then with fur simply laid ahead of the clouser eyes, the dumbbell eyes, and just tied on with a simple wrap. The fly is finished with a coating of Plasti-Dip up front, as you'll see a little bit later on, just to hold the shape of the fly. In this case, I'm using some hackle flash just to palmer on to give it the illusion of some legs underneath. As I'm wrapping it, I'm picking it out with one hand while wrapping with the other, just to make sure that all the synthetic fibers are spread evenly. If you prefer less flash in the pattern, as sometimes it is necessary, just simply palmering on a longer hackle will work just fine. Here I'm removing the hook and resetting it just to avoid having to turn the rotary head out of the camera range. Here I've clipped a generous portion of the coyote fur. I'll clip the end of it nice and square and apply it just ahead of the dumbbell eyes. I'll use a couple of loose wraps and adjust the fur as I see fit, and then tie it in tightly. Once I've completed the whip finish and trimmed it, I'll adjust the fur. I'll take my time. I want to make sure the proportions are right. I want to try to get it to lay as flat as possible prior to applying the Plasti-Dip. I'm happy with the way it looks right now. I'll use my pinky or a bodkin or a popsicle stick just to hold the rear portion of the fur in place as I apply the Plasti-Dip. Notice that I'm just applying it right up front of the pattern. I'm not going to work it back at all, and I'm just letting it saturate into the fur. And it's simply there as a strip so that when you swim the fly, the width is held in place by the Plasti-Dip. I'll give the wraps a generous coating, make sure I have the underneath covered well, and again, it just seals the pattern and enhances the durability. All the mono thread that I've used will be protected by that rubberized coating of Plasti-Dip. There you have it, a fairly quick pattern to tie and a reasonable illusion of a crab. Feel free to modify it by changing the color of the eyes, for instance, orange for a mole crab. Add legs, modify it any way you wish, and best of luck with it.